Thank you. Just please go ahead.
What exactly does creativity means in architecture? Can we extend the boundary of this concept from design a building to defining a project? This is our recently challenge for elevating and redefining the role of architecture and architects in Iran.
In the global context, Iran is not a poor country because of its oil reserves. However, poverty persists systematically in some of its provinces. This discrimination has political and social roots, including the presence of official religion and the existence of minority-dominated provinces. Meanwhile, the government's inherent hostility towards NGOs, leading to their gradual dissolution, has resulted in individuals being the only ones reaching out to those in need. Interacting with people and facilitators around us who are involved in social work and witnessing the outcome of their scattered, infrequent efforts and their bottom-up approach inspired us to explore the impact that we can make in this field as an architect studio. Having practiced for over 20 years and worked with a diverse range of private clients across the country, we believe that we could use this reputation to convince clients to finance a non-profitable project in these regions. So, by exchanging the role of the client and the architect, our goal was to design a project in these marginalized regions and then seek funding for its construction. We selected Balochistan due to its increasing poverty, status as a religious minority, rich cultural and artistic heritage, and unique local conditions. After too many inquiries and narrowing down the options, we reached the village of Ishaqabad, whose people welcomed this plan more than others. This is the conceptual map that the villagers drew during the first meeting to describe the village for facilitators and the architect team. Active listening to people was one of our most important activities. We heard about the needs and identified the deficiencies in empowering and providing skills to women, as well as the necessity for educating and the neighborhood center. Careful observation of the villagers' condition also led to some interesting discoveries. The tectonic in architecture of the village consisted of stone walls constructed from freely available river rocks, along with the hut roof structures made from palm tree leaves. In the middle of these interactions, one of the villagers generously donated a piece of land for the project. This location, situated between the mosque, the store, and the two-class school, could serve as a meeting point for diverse group of people from different genders and communities. Each gender and community required their own specific open and closed spaces. Our concept involved courtyards, each accommodating flexible programs and providing separate entrances for each section. A space for women's training, a library for girls, a library for boys, and a porch-like area for men gathering in the evening called Divanja. Our concept design organized the forms in a way that represents the festival of local materials. Light hot roof structures standing on solid stone walls. Due to concerns about durability, local craftsmen and residents preferred to focus on the walls and eliminate the huts. Walls made from freely available materials that are long-lasting and require less maintenance. Then we located micro-programs, a men's communal area and buffet next to Divanja, men's gathering place, and defined a study room for boys and a study hall for girls who should prepare for university entrance exam near the library. The walls were heightened and the emphasis shifted away from the roof. These curved stone walls created areas of shade and semi-shade, facilitated natural ventilation, and shade gathering spots. To ensure the locals' agreement as before, we once again asked the local community to evaluate the project. They were concerned about the challenges of its construction, the curved walls, and their potential to break during the building process. This concern made us to explore historical precedents of wall in proximity of our project, which primarily consist of irregular straight walls. Once again, we studied the project through this lens. This time, we didn't have a complete top-to-bottom geometry, but an incomplete one that not only aligned with the interior furniture, but also employed any probable construction deficiencies of the local builders into its unique visual language. The project can be described as the economy of thickness, featuring thick stone walls, thin metal ceiling in enclosed spaces, and umbrella-like hot roofs in open areas. It establishes a meaningful relationship with the ground, climate, and structure. This project offers several miniature plazas for various groups and their interests, from watching football to preparing for the entrance exam of the country's free university with aspiration of shaping their own destiny and making a better future, or engaging in local empowerment and skill development activities. A field of spatial possibilities for these grateful people.
Morgo harçın da don bize diyemana don diyeyim deyene. But morgo şu bu da dimi neşte getirin neşte gene. آخرین که میسان کنی و چه هاکار میشه انگار دم نیچینه.
The left image represents our agreement with one of the suppliers to fund the construction of the project,
The last one.
a step that may allow a few of my people to dream big.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Could you explain the relationship between the traditional building methods that you're proposing here and what exists now? In other words, are you reviving tradition, or does that tradition exist in building methods, materials, etc.?
از دیواره استفاده کردیم ولی نوع استفاده از این دیوار و استفاده از سقفش رو می‌کنیم.
You know, they currently and traditionally are using the riverbed stones to construct the walls. We use the same material, but add some creativity to constructing them and the roofs that we are going to use for the outdoor spaces. The capa, which is the palm tree, is customary to use in that area for sheltering the huts, but we try to use it in a different way, more contemporary way.
And you talked about day one, listening actively to the local people and the early sketch. Tell us about day 365 or whatever this represents. What is their thought, and how much did people participate in the design all the way through?
فقر بود نخواستم و چیز بود ما اصولا پرسیست می‌کنیم ولی نکردیم حرفش رو گوش کردیم.
It was very communicative, and they were very eager to participate in all the process of designing. As you may see, the first draft of the map, the village, they consider all the spots for us. The first draft, the first alternative version that we took there, they believed that it was a bit poor. It was made of capar, but it was poor likely, so they didn't like it. We usually persist on the versions, what we want, what we believe in it. But because they didn't like it, we said, okay, we will revise it for you and think again to come through a decision together that it was desirable also for them.
Thank you.
I really like the way the scheme evolved in response to, I understand that, is the idea that they would themselves build it?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
going to, because they have great craftsmanship there, builders.
So
yes.
it makes a great deal of sense. It's a low-tech version of working with
Yeah.
subcontractors, work out the best way of building it. And having gone through that evolution and the way that the building shape changed and the construction changed, I had two questions about the construction. What did the roof end up being, and how do you do openings and lintels in that construction?
Okay. The final roof, in the way that we are going to use, it has a main structure in the middle, and some wooden, helping wooden structure between the around the roof.
فلزی روش یه سری شاخه قرار میدیم برای اینکه خنک بمونه.
My colleague said it's metal, but there are some branches on top of it because we'd like to keep it cool. Branches like the capar to keep it cool, and also we thought about the isolation and not water resistance material for them.
Okay, so you have the tin deck, but then you basically insulate it with the foliage, with the palm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And the lintels, because you've got some quite big openings in what's a very traditional way of building, and it's got heavy stones on top of them. How do you form a lintel in this kind of construction?
It's used about the way or about the material? The material is wood or stone. That is also can be prepared in the proximity of the site. And the way is about normal way that they use lintels.
That's what I was curious about. So you can do it with wood or stone that the same guys can build.
Yes, yes.
اون نازکاشو با سنگ میتونیم بکنیم، اونایی که بزرگتره باید
Yes, this, as you can see in the pictures, they're very crafted and they were really eager to participate because they were hoping for the better future and they believe that education and the place that they can have fun
They build it.
would be better for them.
Amazing.
Can you tell us about the challenges that you faced, especially coming, from a more established, more urban area, go into rural spaces and trying to make something? From my experience, I've found that to be quite challenging sometimes because in terms of vision, it's not always easy for, let's say, people in rural environment to sort of go back to the way they're used to doing things and usually maybe aspire to, maybe build with something more contemporary. And it's never easy to sort of work with the population to try to make them go back or put forth the traditional methods of building. Did you find that to be a challenge, working with communities?
دو تا چالش اصلی داشتیم. یکی این که شما میگید، یکی هم چالش اداری که زمین رو اهدا کردن هنوز نمیتونیم کار اداریش انجام بدیم. و در مورد اولی هم بگید که اینا هم چیز مدرن‌تر می‌خواستن ولی در نهایت با این کاری که با دیوار کردیم راضی شدن.
We have a couple of challenges, extreme challenges. The first one was, as you mentioned earlier, it was very difficult to cope with them, and we were not familiar with the desires, the way of thinking. So that was the part that we said that we used active listening and careful observation of the whole area and their reactions, what they need, how they believe in the world and the future. And the second one is somehow official. Although they donated the land, we could not convince the municipality to start a construction, and it was a bit difficult for us. And the government, as we mentioned, is not interested in such work and contributing to poor people in poverty. Where we have the money, we have the fund, but the process of construction is not started yet because of the pressure the government is pushing on us.
Time's running up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.